Picture this. A heated White House press conference. Donald Trump stands at the podium, jaw set, eyes blazing with confidence. He's about to play what he believes is his smoking gun, a secret recording of Barack Obama that will prove once and for all that his predecessor is unfit to lead. Reporters lean forward, pens ready, cameras rolling. This is it. This is the moment that's supposed to destroy Obama's legacy forever. But when that tape starts playing, something incredible happens. The room falls silent, not because of scandal, not because of some damaging revelation, but because Obama's voice, calm and steady, begins filling that tense briefing room with words so powerful, so genuinely inspiring, that even Trump's harshest critics can't look away. What you're about to hear is a story of how one man's attempt to humiliate his rival backfired so spectacularly that it accidentally reminded an entire nation what real leadership sounds like. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll understand why this moment became one of the most stunning political boomerangs in modern history. The White House briefing room is already crackling with tension. You can feel it in the air, that electric sense that something big is coming. Reporters clutch their notepads. Cameras line the back wall. And everyone knows this isn't going to be your typical policy announcement. When Trump finally steps up to that podium, he doesn't waste a single second with pleasantries. Barack Obama, he says, his voice cutting to the room like a knife, was unfit to lead this country then, and he's unfit to have influence on it now. The words hit like a thunderclap. Journalists glance at each other, eyebrows raised, pens freezing mid-sentence. Everyone knew Trump had attacked Obama before, but this feels different. There's electricity in the air, a sense that something massive is about to drop. A reporter from the Washington Post leans forward. Mr. President, are you saying the former president is actively working against your administration? Trump's jaw tightens. He nods slowly, deliberately. That's exactly what I'm saying. People don't know the half of it. He's been undermining everything we've built. But today you're going to hear it for yourselves. The room goes dead silent. Not a cough, not a shuffle, just silence. Every reporter in that room knows they're sitting on the edge of a story that could explode in every direction. Trump gestures to a staffer offstage. A laptop gets carried forward, placed carefully on the podium. Trump taps the microphone once, leans in, and delivers a line that will haunt him for weeks to come. We have a recording. It's Obama himself. You'll see what I mean. Can you imagine the anticipation in that room? Reporters holding their breath, others scribbling furiously, desperate to capture every word. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. People aren't sure what they're about to hear, but the way Trump's framing it makes it sound like a political nuclear bomb. From the third row, an NBC correspondent whispers to his colleague, "This could change everything." Trump looks out over the room with that hint of satisfaction in his expression. For years, I've said it, Obama was never fit for leadership. He was never fit for America. But don't just take my word for it. Listen to his own words. He hits the button. The speakers crackle to life. At first, nothing but static. Then a voice emerges, unmistakable, calm, measured. Barack Obama. Thank you all for being here today. Obama's voice begins. I know times feel uncertain, and many of you wonder if your efforts matter, but I'm here to tell you they do. Every conversation you have, every young person you mentor, every time you remind someone that this country belongs to all of us, you're shaping the future. Wait, hold on. Reporters start glancing around, confused. This isn't the bombshell they were expecting. This doesn't sound like a scandal. This sounds presidential. Trump stands there with his arms crossed, confident that this recording will prove his point. But the words spilling from those speakers don't feel damaging. They feel like something else entirely. A journalist in the back whispers, "Where's the attack? Where's the betrayal?" But the tape keeps playing. Obama's voice is steady, reassuring. He's talking about community leaders in Detroit, about resilience, about teaching young people that democracy isn't something that's just handed down. It's something that has to be fought for, protected, and nurtured. The contrast is absolutely stunning. In this room filled with tension and expectation, reporters find themselves listening not to an indictment, but to a reminder of a completely different kind of leadership, One cameraman, usually stone-faced during these briefings, quietly mutters, This is actually moving. The press corps, used to sharp-edged remarks and high drama, suddenly finds itself caught in a moment they never anticipated. Instead of scandal, there's inspiration. Instead of evidence of betrayal, there's a call to unity. And here's the thing, Trump doesn't stop it. He lets the tape roll, his expression unreadable, almost daring the press to interpret the way he wants them to. But these words carry their own weight, painting a picture that no amount of political framing can distort. By the time Obama's voice reaches the part where he says, "Our democracy survives," not because of one leader, but because of millions of voices refusing to give up on one another, the energy in that room has shifted completely. Reporters aren't scribbling as frantically anymore. They're listening, really listening. The irony is impossible to ignore. What Trump introduced as proof of unfitness sounds to many ears like exactly the opposite. A CNN correspondent whispers to her neighbor, "If this is the best he's got, this might seriously backfire." But wait until you hear what happens next, because the real shock hasn't even hit yet. The speakers continue carrying Obama's words clearly, his tone steady and deliberate. He's not yelling. He's not accusing anyone of anything. He's guiding, like a teacher who knows the students need encouragement more than criticism. Trump, standing stiff at that podium, scans a crowd of reporters. He's expecting gasps, maybe outrage, perhaps even confirmation of his accusations. Instead, he sees furrowed brows, skeptical looks, and pens that have slowed to a crawl. This recording doesn't sound incriminating. It sounds presidential. Obama's voice continues. The strength of our country is not measured by the titles of the people in office. It's measured by the kindness of neighbors who check in on one another, by teachers who refuse to give up on their students, by parents who work 3 jobs just to keep the lights on. These words land heavy in that room. For reporters who covered Obama years earlier, it's impossible not to remember those speeches that made him a household name. That rhythm, that calm cadence. It's unmistakable. But Trump, unwilling to break his stance, leans into the microphone again. "You hear that?" he barks. That's what he really thinks. He doesn't believe in strong leadership. He believes in weak communities. A hand shoots up near the front. It's a reporter from the Boston Globe. "Mr. President, with all due respect, that doesn't sound like undermining. That sounds like encouragement." Trump's face hardens. Encouragement? That's weakness. We need strength. We don't need lectures about neighbors and families. We need real leaders. And Obama has never been one. The tension escalates. Reporters exchange glances, some trying to hide their surprise, others barely masking their disbelief. But the audio keeps running, completely ignoring the commentary swirling around it. On the tape, Obama is now addressing questions from young leaders at this gathering in Detroit. A young man's voice asks, "What do we do when we feel like we can't make a difference?" Obama's reply comes without hesitation. "You remind yourself that history is not written by cynics. It's written by those who keep pushing even when the odds are against them. Change never comes easy. It takes patience, persistence, and above all, belief in each other." Some reporters in that briefing room lower their pens entirely. They're not taking notes anymore. They're just listening. A voice in the back cuts in. "Sir, with all due respect, that's not what it sounds like. He's saying the opposite. That persistence is necessary. Are you certain this is the right clip?" For the first time, a flicker of frustration crosses Trump's face. He waves his hand dismissively. You people will twist anything to protect him, but the truth is right here on tape. Yet even as Trump speaks, Obama's voice keeps flowing from those speakers. Leadership isn't about tearing others down to prove your own strength. It's about lifting people up so that they can carry the torch when you're gone. The words echo in that cramped briefing room, and you can hear an audible murmur run to the crowd of reporters. Some even raise their eyebrows, clearly moved by what they're hearing. Trump's aides along the wall start looking uneasy. This isn't the reaction they expected. This recording was supposed to be a weapon, but it's starting to feel like a gift, one Obama never intended for the public. But that's resonating with everyone anyway. One reporter leans over to her colleague and whispers, if anything, he just gave Obama free airtime. Obama's voice delivers one more line, soft but piercing. America is not the sum of its divisions. It's the measure of how we rise above them together. The room falls silent again. For a long moment, the only sound is the recording itself. Then, without warning, Trump slams the laptop shut. The speakers go dead. Enough, he says firmly. You've heard it. Now you know the truth. But the silence in that room isn't agreement. It's disbelief. Reporters look at one another, unsure whether Trump even realizes the irony of what he just did. A journalist from Politico mutters under his breath, he might have just handed Obama the biggest PR win of the year. And that's exactly what happened. But you won't believe what comes next, because within minutes, this recording is about to take on a life completely outside Trump's control. Within minutes of that press conference ending, clips of the recording are already racing across the internet. Reporters rush out of that White House briefing room with phones glued to their ears, laptops open before they even reach their cars. In our social media age, this is pure dynamite. But here's the twist. The explosion isn't hurting Barack Obama. It's devastating Trump. Cable networks scramble. CNN, MSNBC, even Fox News cut into regular programming to play the audio. In glass wall control rooms, producers shout orders, get the tape up now, run it again. The Obama clip isn't scandalous. It's calm, eloquent, and deeply American. That irony makes it absolutely irresistible for broadcast. On MSNBC, an anchor leans forward, listening to the playback in her earpiece. That's not an indictment of Obama, she says carefully. That's a reminder of the kind of leadership we don't hear much anymore. But it's not just television. Social media catches fire. Twitter explodes with hashtags. Hashtag Obama's tape and hashtag Leadership Matters climb to the top of trending lists. Clips of Obama saying leadership isn't about tearing others down. It's about lifting people up get stitched into TikTok videos with images of teachers in classrooms, volunteers at food banks, nurses in hospitals. On Instagram, a young woman from Phoenix posts, "Say what you want about politics, but these words still give me hope." Thousands of comments pour in within minutes. This doesn't sound like unfitness. It sounds like exactly what we're missing. Meanwhile, in living rooms across America, the reaction is visceral. In Toledo, Ohio, a 58-year-old truck driver sits in his recliner watching CNN replay the recording. He shakes his head slowly. "I didn't even vote for the guy," he mutters to his wife. "But damn, that sounds like a leader." His wife glances up from folding laundry. Compared to what we've been hearing lately, it's night and day. In Phoenix, a high school senior plays a clip for her mother. "See, Mom? This is what we were talking about in class. He's telling us we matter." Her mom wipes her hands on a towel and listens. He's not even president anymore, but he still sounds like one. The irony deepens with every share, every comment, every conversation. The recording Trump believed would damage Obama is being embraced as a reminder of dignity and steadiness in politics. But not everyone's moved in the same direction. In a Texas diner, older men in baseball caps debate over coffee. One slams his mug down. "Don't you get it?" He's trying to sound noble, but it's all about control. His friend stirs his coffee quietly. Maybe, or maybe he's just saying we gotta believe in each other. Doesn't sound so bad to me. These conversations multiply in barbershops, college campuses, factory lunchrooms. People argue, but they argue because the words hit them. They have to decide what those words mean. Inside the White House, Trump's staff huddles with grim faces. The clip is aired on every major network, and polling analysts warn the optics are disastrous. "We gave him a microphone," one aide says under his breath, "and he stole the room." Even late-night comedians can't resist. One host grins into the camera. Trump tried to drop a bomb on Obama, but it turned out to be a bouquet. The audience roars. By midnight, this story is no longer about whether Obama was unfit. It's about how Trump managed to turn a routine speech into a viral moment that completely repolished Obama's image. But the true test isn't in headlines or hashtags. It's in how ordinary Americans carry these words into their daily conversations. And that's where the real story begins. The morning after, something remarkable starts happening. The recording isn't fading. It's spreading into every corner of American life. In a laundromat in Dayton, two women fold clothes while one replays a clip on her phone. "I don't care what side you're on," she says. Those words make sense. That's the kind of stuff I wish my kids were hearing more of. At a diner outside Tulsa, truck drivers crowd into a booth debating what they heard. One leans forward. When he said, "History is not written by cynics," that hit me. Reminded me of my old man who worked at the plant 40 years and never gave up. In a high school in Fresno, a history teacher plays a recording for her students. The classroom goes quiet. When it ends, she asks, "What does leadership sound like to you?" A student in the back raises his hand. "It sounds like someone actually cares if we make it." These aren't political debates anymore. These are conversations about what people want to hear from their leaders. But 3 days later, all eyes turn to Chicago, where Obama himself is expected to respond. And his words could change everything. Obama sits in a modest conference room, jacket off, sleeves rolled up, aides hover nearby. Fielding calls from journalists wanting to know how he'll respond. "If I do respond," he says softly, "it can't be about me. It has to be about the country, about what we owe each other." When the announcement comes, it's understated. Obama will make a short statement from his Chicago home, streamed online for anyone to watch. That evening, millions tune in. The screen reveals Obama at a simple desk, bookshelves faintly visible behind him. "Over the past few days," he begins in that familiar calm tone, "a recording of mine has been shared widely. It wasn't meant for the world stage. It was a conversation with young leaders in Detroit, reminding them that their voices matter." He pauses, letting the silence work. "What you heard wasn't a political strategy or an attack on anyone. It was simply the truth as I see it. That America is stronger when we lift each other up. That democracy only works if we believe in one another. That leadership isn't measured by how loudly we talk, but by how faithfully we listen." Across the country, viewers lean forward. He doesn't mention Trump's name once. He doesn't need to. I want to speak especially to young people who may be hearing my words for the first time. Don't let cynicism tell you that your voice doesn't matter. Don't let anyone convince you that democracy is someone else's responsibility. It belongs to you, to all of us. The speech lasts less than 8 minutes. No theatrics, no raised voice, no anger. Just a quiet reminder of the message that carried him into office years ago. "Thank you," he closes simply, "and keep believing in each other." Even some critics admit the restraint is striking. A conservative columnist writes, "I disagree with Obama on policy, but that was one of the most disciplined responses I've ever seen." He didn't attack. He didn't grandstand. He just reminded people of what they miss. Inside the White House, aides watch in silence. One turns to another. That's it. 8 minutes, and he's reclaimed the narrative. And that's exactly what happened. Because sometimes strength isn't proven by calling others unfit. It's proven by showing people why they matter and reminding them not to give up on each other. The numbers tell the story. Obama's favorability surges, especially among young voters. Trump's approval ratings dip. What was meant to be Obama's downfall becomes his unexpected renaissance. But the deeper lesson extends far beyond politics. In the weeks that follow, Obama's words get quoted in graduation speeches, taped to locker room walls, referenced in everyday conversation. A pastor in Indianapolis sums it up perfectly. Tearing down your neighbor may make you feel strong for a moment, but lifting them up makes you remembered. That's the irony Trump never saw coming. He tried to strip Obama of relevance. Instead, he gave him the one thing even time struggles to erase: resonance. So here's the takeaway worth holding on to, whether you lean left, right, or somewhere in between. Words can tear down, or words can build up. One lasts only for a headline. The other lasts for a generation. What kind of leadership do we want to follow? That's the question this moment left behind. And maybe that's the most important lesson of all. That sometimes the most powerful surprises aren't in what's said against someone, but in what's revealed about all of us. If this story left you thinking, there are more moments like these waiting to be explored. Make sure you're subscribed, because the most compelling stories are often hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone to hit play at just the wrong moment, or maybe just the right one.